Pre-show prep about to fucking bust this shit or fall flat on her face. Either way.
Romeo Con.
There he goes, Romeo Con. Motherfucking 3. Salud Cabrones podcast about to hit up this panel with the legends, baby. We got $1 Million Man, we got Chavo Guerrero, we got future legends in the making. Zilla Fatu, the main one, and Chicago sweetheart, Missa Kate.
That's right, it's gonna be crazy. So we got a beautiful setup up here. Look at that. We got the mics and the seat for our guests right here. Me and Javier are gonna be walking up and down, taking questions. Man, it's gonna be crazy. It's gonna be lit. I'm excited. Let's do it.
Salud, cabrón.
Ladies and gentlemen, our first one up is, you guys remember this lady, remember her name because you guys will be seeing it in the future. She is the future of professional wrestling. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Chicago's sweetheart, Missa Kate.
Missa Kate, baby. All right, guys, coming up next to the stage. Man, you guys remember his old man, right? His big daddy. Umaga's son, the main one himself, the Samoan king. We got Zilla Fatu! I've never done announcements. I feel really good.
And our next one, ladies and gentlemen, legend in professional wrestling, one of the guys who taught us how to lie, Steve and Shield and Seal. Give it up for Chavo Guerrero Jr.
When this song hits, everyone across the wrestling fandom knows exactly what time it is. It's $1 Million Man, and everyone has a prize for the $1 Million Man.
Everybody's gonna pay. That's the $1 Million Man.
Always. That song gave me some goosebumps right now.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this year's Romeo Con wrestling panel. We got legends, we got future legends in the building. We do have children in the building, so please keep your questions very family oriented. And like I said, we got legends, future legends, so please keep your questions very, very respectful, please.
Hey Danny, check it out. I know this is Con and everyone comes in cosplay, but Charlotte Flair is in the audience. Look at that. That's awesome. All right, guys. Well, obviously we have a very eclectic group of superstars here. We got legends of professional wrestling, and then we have future legends in the making. So, with that being said, man, so many questions come to mind, but I gotta know, in terms of pro wrestling, this question's for you, Zilla and Missa. I myself and Danny, we're pro wrestlers as well, and when we enter locker rooms, a lot of times, you know, we kind of scan the crowd, and then in walks in a legend, and you can feel the vibe change in the locker room. All the boys feel it, right? So when it comes to you guys, what is your take? How do you feel, and what kind of advantages and what kind of takes are you really taking advantage of when you're sitting in those locker rooms and you see people like Dibiase or Chavo Guerrero walk into those locker rooms?
Ladies first, ladies first.
Geez, no pressure, just put me on the spot like that, that's cool. No, just, it's awesome because it's something that you work towards, right? Being in locker rooms with people like them, from watching them and like studying and all that stuff, now I get to actually ask questions. Chavo knows this, I bother him all the time. But no, it's great. And hopefully one day the goal is to get to where they are. So yeah, it's awesome.
I would say it's a blessing to have, OGs like these two guys right here on the side of me. Throughout my whole career, I've only been doing this for a year. The locker rooms I've been in, I'm more than blessed to share the locker room with people that did this before me, because they have experience, and that's something I don't have. So I'm just very blessed to work with them, and I just picked his brain for like 2 hours earlier. So
He did. Very first thing, as soon as he saw him walking in the building, he's like, yep, going right there.
And before I ask my question, you guys, sorry, you guys can go ahead.
Hey, real quick, one thing you do learn when you get veterans in the locker room, you learn what to do, but you also learn what not to do at times, depending on what veterans are in there, right?
Oh yeah, I mean, I don't know how much things have changed when I first started. I mean, when I went in the locker room, I didn't speak unless I was spoken to. I mean, the respect level was that high. It's like I kept my mouth shut and paid attention and and watched every match. Again, so I learned something. That's why I was there.
That kind of goes into my question right now. Rick Perez, my questions. You guys can go ahead and start lining up for those that want to ask questions for these gentlemen and lady here. Before I do, so piggybacking on. When you see the younger talent come in asking you guys questions.
Yep, I go. Mine's working.
When you have the younger talent coming in and asking you guys questions, $1 million man, Chavo Guerrero, what advice are you giving the future of professional wrestling?
So this business that we do is an art form in every sense of the word. It's entertainment, it's action, it's sports, it's business, it's everything that you can really think of. That's what wrestling is. So we always really try to pass on the knowledge that was taught to us. We had some of the best in the business teach us on how to what this business is about. Not just our families, but just the wrestlers that came before us. And for me, it was guys like Ted, guys like Arn Anderson, guys like Mr. Perfect, guys like Ric Flair, stuff like that. Ricky Steamboat, people that came before us that really taught us how this business works and what an art form it is. So for me, I like to try to pass on that knowledge that's been taught to me through those generations. And this business is when I say an art form, sometimes it's a dying art form. At least changing art form, for sure, it's changing. But we always like to express to them what was taught to us. And what was taught to us is really getting in that ring and telling stories. That's what we really do in the ring, and that's what we're trying to get back to. And get this younger generation learning how to connect with the fans, connect with all of you guys, and not just use these moves and these really cool, super kicks or flips or whatever, but really connecting with the fans and getting you guys to either cheer us or boo us, and that's what it's all about.
Yeah, you could have said it any better, Chavo. Both of us were raised in this business. My father was a professional wrestler as well as a national amateur champion out of the University of Nebraska. And, I lost him when I was 15 years old. He had a heart attack and died, had a heart attack in the ring in Lubbock, Texas, and was still on. And I had a couple offers to go play college football, one from the University of Arizona, and a lot of people were surprised that I passed up on the University of Arizona to go to West Texas State, which is just south of Amarillo, Texas. And the thing unique about Amarillo, Texas is a very well-known family in wrestling, and that would be the Funk family. Dory Funk Sr. and my dad, who wrestled as Iron Mike Dibiase, had the longest professional wrestling match on record, 3 hour and 15-minute Texas death match, 1966.
Wow.
Amazing.
I'm tired of hearing that. Jesus.
And so, the one thing I always, was sure to do is respect those, it's kind of like, at the old day, like you went in the dressing room, and if you're a young guy, You sit down, you put your gear on, and you shut up and you listen. You speak if you're spoken to. You know, that's old school, and I think it should still be old school. You know, the wrestling business, like everything else, is changing to some degree. You know, and I think some of it's really good. I think some of it's really bad. I find that, like a lot of the young guys now, that they get in the ring and they do all these fancy moves and bounces and triple somersaults and what have you. They hit the ground, they bounce up like nothing happened to them. What did you accomplish? Nothing. You got to sell it. And that's the thing. It's like when you go to a movie, when you walk into a movie, you know it's a movie. You know it's not real, but the actors, by the way they present themselves as realistically as possible, they draw you in to the story they're telling in that movie. Well, that's what wrestling used to be. Every match was a story. You know, you got the good guy and the bad guy, and the good guy's looking good until the bad guy realizes, I got to do something or I'm gonna get beat, and so he starts cheating, and he gets away with it, and he gets away with it, and finally that good guy starts that from the ground up comeback, and eventually explodes, and you have this great big comeback, and all the fans are cheering and everything, and you do one of two things. You know, the good guy either wins or the bad guy, depending on where you are in the program. You know, maybe he does something and cheats to win again, and then you're going to see him again the next week. That's basically what we do. And my attitude from the first day was, I don't care if these people think that every other match on this card was fake. I'm going to try to make them believe the match they saw me was real. And that was a mental attitude for me. And as long as I kept that attitude, well, obviously it worked out pretty good for me.
Amen. Nuggets.
So we got our
From
first
the
question.
legend himself.
We got our first question here, maybe from a future wrestler here.
Come here, big man.
What's your question?
So it was for Zilla.
Zilla?
Yeah. So who do you consider your tribal chief?
We knew that question was eventually going to be asked, right?
I see that coming. You want the real answer? You want the real answer?
Yeah.
I acknowledge Waffle House.
The tribal waffle.
Yeah, that's my answer is. Yeah, Waffle House.
There you go.
Thanks, bud.
Thank you, brother.
Next question. Rich.
The man.
First of all, I'd like to say thanks for you guys coming out and joining us at Romeo Con 3. Let's give all of you guys a big hand. Second of all, I see two younger wrestlers coming up. Zilla, Missa, two legends, Chavo and Ted. I have a two-part question. What do you two get, what are you guys expecting to get out of this business coming up as younger wrestlers? And what do you two legends, what kind of life lessons would you give us, or would you tell us? You know, how you know, so we can, you know, with the little guys and stuff like that, we'd like to know what kind of life lessons you would tell them, you know, going up into the wrestling business.
Rich with the hard-hitting questions off the bat. Don't be shy. Don't be shy.
I guess that's it.
Good question.
Right? Yeah, stuff on this a little bit. No, I mean, so the reason why I got into wrestling was for the storytelling. So being able to go out there, tell stories, connect with fans, as they were saying earlier, to me that's what's the most beneficial, right? Now, as far as life lessons, maybe I'm not the best person to give advice on that, but no, but just meeting the fans, interacting with the fans, either making you like me or hate me, that's what's fun to me. So, yeah, I don't know.
So this was a love growing up, basically.
Yeah, it's my first love, and so anything, yeah, any kind of storytelling, that's what I love. So
Awesome.
I guess, yeah, sharing that.
I wish you the best of luck.
Thank you.
My answer to that is, I want to be able to inspire people in the righteous way. My path, you know, growing up, I didn't have no father figure, and I fell to the streets. And you know, I lost that battle. So I want to be able to inspire people that, you know, regardless of what you're going through in life, you're at your lowest point in your life, you know, you can do it. Because here I am, I did 6 years in prison, right? Came home, I didn't even know what to do. I started doing wrestling, and guess what? It saved my life, you know what I'm saying?
You found it.
It saved my life. So I'm just blessed and grateful to be here. And my objective with these fans is, like he said, is to touch the emotion of the match. Not just the wrestling, not just doing these big moves, going out there and telling the story and making an impact on these kids and the grown-ups. So just one day at a time, you know, no rush, no rush.
Thank you. We appreciate that. Thank you. Chavo?
Well, my advice to the younger generation is to, it's not how much money you make, it's how much money you save. So we see that a lot in our business a lot because it's, you know, it's quick, you're in and out. If you're lucky, you're gonna have a longer career, but really it's, you know, 4 or 5 years and that could be it. So we get a lot of these people, I mean, these younger wrestlers, that they start making some pretty good money, and before you know it, they're out of that business and all that money is gone because they just spend it. They think it's never gonna end. It's always gonna end. So I would just say, you know, that's what we were talking earlier at Zilla, is save some of that money, put some of that away. Enjoy it, don't get me wrong, enjoy what God's blessed you with. At the same time, you gotta plan for that rainy day.
Especially with you guys being on the road all the time now, right?
100%. You don't know if you blow your knee out next week and it's gone, you know, so.
Yeah. Thank you, Chavo. We appreciate that. Ted?
I asked Chavo that same question. He told me to run away.
Yeah, I agree totally with what Chavo just said. And again, having been raised in the business, I mean, you know, the difference between, there's a lot of guys who, like me, were sons of wrestlers. Both of my parents were wrestlers. My dad's wrestling name is Iron Mike Dibiase. He was also a national amateur champion. My mother's wrestling name was Helen Hild, and that's how I think they met. So I had 2 professional wrestlers in my home, and that's why I was a pretty good kid. I never got in much trouble. But no, I mean, you know, like just life. I mean, it's kind of like if you're going to do something, you know, go for it. I mean, you gotta, you know, you pour everything that you can into it, and it's like, you know, be quick to listen and slow to speak, you know. And what I tried to do a lot when I was first starting was I would seek out a lot of the old timers, so to speak, guys that had been in the business quite a while, and those are the guys that I went to and asked questions. And so, I mean, that's what I would tell any young guy now. Ask questions, go to these guys, and you never know what they're gonna tell you. And it's like, I'm just, you know, Chavo said what he was saying there. It made me remember, one night, there was this guy, and I don't know if you even remember this name, Bill Dromo. Yeah, you know, he wasn't a main eventer or anything, but he was a guy in the business. And I remember sitting with him at a Waffle House in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. And basically he said to me the same thing Chavo just said. He said, "Kid, it's not how much you make, it's how much you save." You know, he said, you know, but if you're going to invest in it, you know, I would say this. You know, you either got to go all the way or don't go. You know, you know, you're gonna have good times. You're gonna have bad times. But that's just life. And you know, if there's anything that the wrestling business has taught me is that, I'm gonna be as good as I allow myself to be. In other words, go for it. Never take the attitude that you've arrived. And there's nothing else that you can learn, because there's always something you can learn.
Thank you guys.
Amazing.
Never stop learning. That's one thing to take right there. You never stop learning. Once you start thinking you know it all, that's when you know nothing. In any business, any walk of life, or anything you got going on, whether it be your marriage, whether it be your relationship, whether it be your job, once you think you know it all, you know zero. So you never stop learning. You always learn. So remember that. Always learn and take those lessons, those life lessons, whatever they are. They come disguised all the time. But you learn from them. We don't grow on those mountaintops, we grow on those valleys. That's when you grow.
Right.
Mountaintops are easy. That's when everything's going, that's easy. When it's tough, that's when you really grow, and it shapes you to who you actually are, you're going to be in this future.
All right. Thank you guys again. I appreciate you.
Got another question here. What's up, bud?
Yeah, thanks for coming out, guys. I just got a question for all four of you. What would be like the proudest moment of your whole career up until this point? Doesn't have to include like paydays or titles, but I guess it could, depending on what you guys feel. So, ladies first.
Always on the spot.
Right? I know. People love
Business
putting me on the
related?
spot.
Like business related? Like wrestling related?
I mean, yeah, either one. Like your proudest moment. Like I said, not necessarily like a title win or a payday, but.
Sure.
All right, let's go. No, I mean, kind of just touching on what I said earlier, like telling stories is why I'm here. So for me to have like some type of long-term storyline that was able to get people's minds off of whatever's going on at home, and if they're invested in that, to me that's a win. Like, yeah, titles and stuff are cool, but to me, when I watched wrestling, what I remember are the storylines. So, for women, it's always the Trish and Mickey storyline, right? You have Eddie and Ray. But that's why I got invested. So if I can do something like that and create that emotion for somebody, how that was created for me, then that's winning for me.
Awesome.
Zilla, what about you, buddy?
My biggest accomplishment is winning the Reality of Wrestling World Heavyweight title and celebrating it with my mom afterwards, man.
Nice.
So yeah, that was
Good question. So I think with me, real quick, is this is, like I said, it's an art form for sure. It takes years and years to learn. You don't learn this overnight. Growing up in the business as well. You think, you got a little fast track in there, you're gonna learn a little bit more, but it really, for me personally, so I grew up with a wrestling ring in my backyard. My whole entire life, everything we did was wrestling. We lived, eat, breathed, did everything wrestling. That's just the way it was. But then when I became a pro wrestler, it took me, and I'm talking at the highest level. I'm not talking at, training for wrestling or doing independent shows, but at the highest level. So we're talking WCW and then WWE. Wrestling close to 300 days a year. 300 days times 5, really, so close to 1,500 matches a year. That was 5 years before I started figuring, like, all right, I kind of understand this a little bit, I get it. And another 5 years, so that's 10 years in this business at the highest level. So you're looking at close to 3,000 matches before I actually had people like Ric Flair or a Ted DiBiase or legends like that saying, hey, great match. That's 10 years and that's 3,000 matches. So one of my proudest moments was when I had people that I looked up to that were telling me, hey, great job tonight. And it takes a long time to get there. So you're not gonna learn this overnight. It takes forever, and you're always evolving, you're always changing. So for me, that's probably one of my proudest moments is having not my peers, but my elders telling me, great job.
Awesome answer.
I guess I could say that Chavo just took the words out of my mouth. I mean, that's basically exactly how I feel. I mean, I couldn't pick I mean, like he said, we wrestled. I'm like, oh my gosh, it's like there's 365 days in the year, and at least 300 of them we were somewhere wrestling. You know, and the other thing about the wrestling business, it's a brotherhood, and you know, it's one that you know, it's not real easy to get into. And once you get into it, again, I would say, any young guy, when you're in the dressing room, shut up and listen, and learn. You know, when you have your match, when you're that guy on the first match, don't go shower and hit the bar. Shower, put your clothes on, and go back and watch the rest of that show, because those guys that are still in the ring are going to teach you something if you're paying attention and willing to learn. And when you get to a place where you think you're, you know, hot shit or yours doesn't stink, you know, that's when you're going to start to fail. Because again, it's a brotherhood, and we all work together for one thing, and that is to entertain the crowd.
Awesome. Thank you for that question, by the way. That was awesome.
Next up.
So I have a two-part question. So the first
All these
part.
complicated questions. I know. Have an 8-part question.
We should have screened this.
So the first question is for Zilla and Missa. So if y'all could face anyone, current or past, who would your dream match be against? The next question is for Chavo. Okay, if you could lace up the boots one more time, current or past, who would be your dream match?
Ladies first.
He's always ready. I'm gonna go first on this one. Does it matter what kind of match or just?
Doesn't matter what kind of match.
I would definitely put me and my dad. You guys don't know who my dad is, Umaga. All right. Right. It'll be me and my dad versus Solo and Rikishi.
Hell in a Cell, right?
I'd like to see that match. Me too.
Hello.
That's a good one.
Book it. Now you're really on the spot, Missa.
Right? Well, I mean, a little bit. So I've always wanted to have this match, and the chances of it happening are 0 to 1 million. But we're still dreaming over here. I would love to have a ladder match with all of my favorites, which includes intergender. So it'd be Lita, Trish Stratus, John Cena, Jeff Hardy, like all, yeah. So I know it's intense, and I mean, thought about this a little bit. If it's in Wrigley Field specifically, that would be kind of cool. So I thought about it a little bit. But that's my ultimate out there dream match. But if you want something realistic, Lita. I always want to have a match with Lita. Trish obviously is another one, but Lita is the reason why, if you can't tell, one of the reasons why I got into wrestling. Just seeing her, and she was one of the guys, she was a tomboy, I related. So, yeah, if I could have a match with her, I think that would be really fun.
I think, you know, like growing up, Eddie and I, you know, we always pretended that we were the tag team champions of the world. Growing up, we'd always take my family's, you know, championship belts, and we'd wear them like they were ours when we were, you know, 10 and 13 years old, like we were the champions. So when we achieved that in Madison Square Garden, that was like, you know, probably the top of the top. But I would, if I had my choice, I would tag with Eddie again in a, and when we were firing on all cylinders. I think at that time in the world, there was a lot of tag teams going on, but I think as far as being heels, being baby faces, doing promos, our in-ring work, our out-ring work, I thought at that time we were the best tag team in the world. I thought we could hang with anybody and outperform anybody. So I would, that would be a dream of mine, to get back in the ring with Eddie one more time.
I could like maybe turn back the clock, the one guy, and you know, I have been in the ring with him, but you know, it seemed like it was always in a tag team situation. But if I could go back and have a singles match with Terry Funk,
Yeah.
Yes.
because I regard Terry Funk as one of the, he's one of the GOATs, one of the greatest of all time.
He is.
And amongst my peers, I've always had great chemistry with Jake the Snake.
Yeah.
I'd like to go back.
Awesome question.
This is mainly for Zilla. I wanted to ask, what advice would you give to a kid who's trying to pursue a career in wrestling, and where do you see yourself in 10 years from now?
I would say choose the right school. If you ask me, my recommendations come to H-Town, Houston, you know, Reality Wrestling, Booker T. And 10 years from now, I should be running this. I should be running this.
Woo!
You know, I say that respectfully and humbly too. So, yeah.
Awesome. And he will.
Yes, sir.
Very important question for Zilla.
Okay.
This is very important.
Wow. No.
Okay. What it is, you're going to go-to menu in Waffles House.
Oh, it is an important question.
Oh.
Wait, ask that again. Say it again.
What is your go-to menu on at Waffle House?
Your go-to meal. My meal. So you basically want my recipe, right? That's what you asking?
Pretty much.
I'm gonna have to go with the. I'm gonna be very specific, okay? Let me get 8 scrambled eggs with the cheese, all right? And then let me get the grits, extra sugar, and then you gotta have the 4 breads, all right? Put the grape on top of the bread, all right? And then you're gonna have what else? Chocolate milk, you know, with 2 lemonades. And then if I'm full after that, I'll probably just get a coffee or something. But that's just, I get 2 portions of that though. Keep that
Okay,
in mind.
and then real question, what do you, in the future, would you want to tag with Jacob Fatu? Jacob Fatu.
Yes.
Yes?
Yes, I would.
All right. Thank you.
Hey guys, thanks for coming out. We really appreciate you coming out here. This is wonderful to have you guys here. I was thinking about it with something that Ted said. Was there ever a booking decision that was handed down to you that you either rolled your eyes really hard at or you just didn't do? You know what I mean? And I am kind of looking this way, but because it's not quite that way anymore. But you know what I'm saying? Something that you were told to go out and do, and you either were like, I don't know if this is gonna work, or you just kind of said, no, I'm gonna call it on the fly out there.
Well, I think all of us would be lying if we said that we've never been in that situation. You know, but again, but bottom line is, you know, whoever you're working for, you know, they're the ones that, you know, I mean, it's kind of like if there's an opportunity to have a conversation, to change somebody's mind, okay, yes, let's do that. But if not, then, you know, you're going to have to do what you're told to do and do it the best.
Anything
the best way you
specific
can.
that you can think of? Oh man, I didn't want to do that.
I can think of a few, but I'm not going to tell you.
The person was wearing yellow and red, I'm sure.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Anybody else have that? Stands out?
Kerwin White.
Oh, I'm sorry. The ultimate idiot. The ultimate warrior.
Okay.
If there's one guy that I can't say I hate him, but he's a guy who came into our business. He had a great body, but he had no respect for the business he was in. He had no respect for the people that were trying to help him become a better performer. He was just a one-way guy, and if there's anybody I could say that I absolutely had no use for, it's him.
All right.
All right.
Shooting, baby.
You guys, anything?
He was a musclehead.
Yeah.
He was a horrible wrestler.
Was there, sorry to ask a second question, but was there ever a time you got into the ring with him and he was just so blown up from running to the ring that you couldn't, like, he couldn't do anything, you know what I mean? Like, you couldn't pull it off because he was...
But the bottom line is when he got in the ring and did what he did every time he got in the ring, you know, it's like if he didn't have someone like me or a Chavo or a seasoned professional in the ring to tell him what to do, he was hopeless and helpless.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Hello, everybody.
Hello.
My favorite wrestler of all time is Ted Dibiase.
Yeah.
The reason why is because of that $1 million dream, the $1 million belt. And when I was a kid, I always wanted to pretend to be a wrestler. Me and my cousin in Texas had a good time. We always fought between the WWF belts. And I'm going, hey, I'm Ted Dibiase. And one of these days, I'm gonna meet the guy. Because I've always watched you guys on television. I've never seen you guys ever till now. The dream, just seeing Ted in front of me. Best wrestler in the world.
Would you like me to put you in the $1 million dream?
Oh my God.
Do it.
I think that's Lisa.
Everybody's got a price for the $1 million man.
That's him. That's him.
So, are we gonna make this happen? Is the $1 million dream happening? I think it needs to happen. All right, because if it's not you, I'm gonna go in there and I'm gonna get put in that thing.
Oh boy.
I think it needs to happen. Ted, you want to put him in the $1 million dream? Hello. Ted.
Here we go.
You need to sign this waiver first.
Don't do this at home.
Yeah, you gotta sell it.
Everybody's got a price.
Sell it. One.
It's done! Woo!
The $1 million man.
Hello.
Still alive. We're good.
Wow.
He's standing, he's standing.
That is amazing.
Still got it.
Go ahead. Bring the chant, guys. You still got it. You still got it.
You still got it.
Yeah, it wasn't too long ago on NXT, they started chanting that for me.
There you go. Let's go. Guys, as we wind down here.
Any of you guys remember that thing I did with Cameron Grimes and LA Knight? Hey, LA Knight's really going now, isn't he?
As we start to wind down, I just want to go ahead and extend a huge thank you to our entire cast here of wrestlers for joining us here tonight at Romeo Con number 3. Here's Rich. Here's hoping for Romeo Con 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10, and even beyond. Thank you for having us, Salud Cabrones podcast, hosting this panel. Danny, do you have one last question?
I appreciate you all, man. Appreciate these legends and the future legends coming and hanging out with everyone here. Appreciate you guys. And Romeo Con, thanks for the love.
Woo!